Our learning target for today is I can solve two-step equations. We have two criteria for success. The first one is step one. I will add or subtract first to get the term with the variable alone and on one side of the equation. Step two, I will multiply or divide last to get the variable alone. A very important concept you need to remember is you want the variable positive and by itself on one side of the equal sign. You want to isolate the variables. Let's go through and do some examples together. We have 2 times a number plus 1 equals 5. Remember, step 1 was to add or subtract. The original problem says plus 1, we need to do the inverse operation and subtract 1 from both sides. When we do that, the 2x comes down, the plus 1 and the minus 1 cancel each other out and become a 0. Bring down our equal sign, and 5 minus 1 is 4. So we are now left with a one-step equation of 2x equals 4. We want to isolate our variables, so we want to get rid of our 2. Since our 2 is currently being multiplied by x, we want to do the inverse and divide by the 2. What you do to one side of your equation, you must do to the other, so you're going to divide your 4 by 2. Your 2's on the left become 1. You're left with x on the left side, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So your answer is x equals 2. To make sure that's correct, you're going to plug it back into the original equation of 2x plus 1 equals 5. We have 2x plus 1 equals 5. We're going to plug in our answer, which was 2, to do 2 times 2 plus 1 equals 5. You have to use your order of operations, so make sure you multiply your 2 times 2 to get 4. Copy the rest of the problem as it is. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 equals 5, so that means it's correct. Let's try another example. Our next example is 3n minus 6 equals 15. Remember, step 1 was to add or subtract first. The current problem says minus 6, so you want to do the inverse to it in order to get rid of it. Bring down your 3n. Your minus 6 and plus 6 cancel out. It becomes a 0. Bring down your equal sign. 15 plus 6 is 21. So now you have the one-step equation of 3n equals 21. You want to isolate your variable. You want to solve for n. So what you need to do is the inverse of the current operation. 3 times n is what's on the left-hand side. In order to get rid of that, you want to divide by 3. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. The 3's cancel each other out. You're left with n equals 7. So the answer to this equation is n equals 7. But to make sure that we did it correctly, we want to check it. So we're going to take the original problem of 3n minus 6 equals 15. We're going to take x, or n in this case, which was 7, and plug it into where n is. We're going to use our rules for order of operations, so we're going to multiply first. 3 times 7 is 21. Copy the remainder of the problem as it is. 21 minus 6 is 15. Bring down the equal sign. What's on the right side is 15. 15 does equal 15. Therefore, it is correct. We're going to do one more problem. We have m divided by 2 minus 10 equals 6. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add or subtract. So we're going to actually add 10 to both sides. We want to get rid of the 10 first. All right, minus 10 and plus 10 cancel out. You're left with m divided by 2 on the left equals 16 on the right. You want to isolate your variable, you want to isolate your m. It's currently being divided by 2, so you want to multiply it by 2. So 2 times, and multiply this by 2. Your 2's cancel out on the left side, and you're left with m equals 16 times 2 is 32. So m equals 32. We want to make sure that's correct, so we want to take what m is equal to and plug it back into our original equation, which was m divided by 2 minus 10 equals 6. As we figured out before, m was 32, so we're going to put in 32 where our m was. Divide by 2 minus 10. We're just copying the problem as it is. We're going to use our rules for order of operations. So 32 divided by 2, which is 16. Copy the remainder of the problem as it is. 16 minus 10 is 6. 6 is equal to 6. And that is correct. So just to review a couple of things, our learning target is I can solve two-step equations. We have 2 criteria for success. Number 1, I will add or subtract first to get the term with the variable alone and on one side of the equation. And then step 2 is I will multiply or divide last to get the variable alone. So now we have 3 questions for you to do at home. Try these on your own and then bring them to class so we can go over them.